This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now at 6 on Good Morning Indiana.
Just, like to get this fixed. Nobody have any property damage. Nobody get hurt.
Only on RTV6, a town concerned with curbs that could end up flying onto people's yards. Our team gets to work to help with a solution for what can become a hazard on Main Street.
Sparks fly at a meeting determining the future of a local fire department. Working for you, why some involved say they're washing their hands of the situation.
For people living with disabilities, finding a dependable job can be difficult. This morning, Hiring Hoosiers is looking at how a local organization is working to change that.
And filing your taxes can be stressful, even dreadful. We're looking at the changes being rolled out to save you time and money.
All right, 6 o'clock here on your Tuesday morning. Thanks for joining us on this January 14th.
The Pacers win, and of course, we're expecting the state of the state tonight. A lot's going on this day.
Yeah, and luckily, not a lot going on in the forecast. Todd, you were telling us earlier, it's fairly quiet on this Tuesday.
Yeah, it's very quiet. We're not expecting any precipitation, and temperatures are in the 50s. And anytime you're in the 50s in January, in my book at least, we are doing A-OK. Temperatures this morning, they're near freezing, so generally right around 32 degrees. So you do need the jacket this morning. Skies are partly cloudy across the area. The skies were clear on my way into work during the 3:30 portion of the morning, but the clouds are now starting to gather across the area, and we'll kind of toggle back and forth between partly to mostly cloudy skies throughout the day today. So it's not going to be completely sunny from start to finish. The trade-off, though, again, is those mild temperatures, and thankfully this rain to our south is going to stay to our south, and the snow to our north is going to stay to our north, and we're just in the right place at the right time here for the day today. So let's get you out the door with temperatures climbing from the 30s all the way up into the mid-40s already by the noon hour. We end up in the 50s later on this afternoon. We'll talk about that and also our next chance of rain coming up in just a few minutes. But at 6:01, let's get you updated on the roadways on this Tuesday morning with Lauren.
All right, Todd, well, we've been monitoring this road maintenance going on the south side, and you're seeing a vehicle there right below our banner that is blocking the left lane of westbound I-465. This is a little bit east of State Road 37. So what we want you to know as you travel through that area is hopefully this will be wrapping up soon, but traffic is scooting over into the right lanes, and it was stop and go for a while. Looks to be picking back up a little bit. The backup was stretching all the way back to East Street. So let's take a look at our traffic now map at this hour. You can see the slowdowns there in those westbound lanes. But again, hopefully this will be wrapping up and things look to be moving a little bit better at this hour. Of course, we'll continue to keep you updated.
Only on RTV6, a hazard on Main Street.
So homeowners and businesses along State Road 38 in one Madison County town have grown tired of curbs that on occasion end up flying into people's yards depending on the season. Wow. Here is what took us to Markleville.
Love this town. It's a great community.
State Road 38 is a main thoroughfare through the town of Markleville. And every time it snows, the same problem pops up.
Now, we don't want any property damage, anybody injured by this. We just like to see the problem resolved down the road.
Todd Lever is the street's superintendent for Markleville. The curbs along Main Street are pinned to the pavement. They get damaged or fly away, landing in someone's yard after being hit by a state snowplow.
The guys come through, they can't see the curbing. When the blade makes contact, it's just automatically torn out of the road.
Just in the 3 driveways, we have 3 end of the curbs missing across the street.
Todd and Town Council President Daniel Roseberry gave us a walking tour, pointing out the damage. With the town focused on making big infrastructure improvements, they're tired of seeing this happen and would like a resolution.
This is the last snowstorm.
Yeah, this just happened here a couple weeks ago. Yep. You can see that the soil gets all tore up. The blocks, this is one of the sites where someone's already cleaned it up.
You can see our sidewalks starting to sink over years from the erosion, from the curbs being gone.
And it's not a great curb appeal.
No, it's not.
It was about 20 years ago that the pinned curbs were installed along State Road 38. What might have been an innovation or a money saver then has turned out to be a nuisance on Main Street.
Now, Raphael, Main Street is technically a state road, so what does the Indiana Department of Transportation have to say about this major issue?
Yeah, so we took their concerns, the town's concerns, to NDOT, and we asked for a review of this problem. This is what they had to say.
Pin curbs are not cost effective, and obviously they're a little dangerous, especially if they fly up when we hit snowplows, and we don't want that for any resident or any Hoosier who has to deal with it. So for all of us, it's better to go to permanent curbs.
Yeah, so once we called INDOT, they really got to work really quick. In the short term, INDOT will repin the curbs removed to make sure that the streets and the sidewalks are not impacted by erosion. They did some of that work on Friday before those heavy rains moved in. Now they plan to order replacement curbs as needed until the year 2025. That's when INDOT plans a major upgrade of State Road 38, and that will include replacing the pin curbs with real curbs. And one more thing, of course, we put the council town president in touch with someone at INDOT so they can make those arrangements and talk about this long term to see how this all works out.
All right, Raphael, thank you. And you can learn more about this developing story on the RTV6 app and the IndyChannel.com. And as always, if something like this is happening in your community, please reach out to us.
Here at 6:05, a boil order in Hamilton County is having a major impact on customers and area schools. Our Alyssa Donovan is joining us live from the live desk this morning. And Alyssa, one school district is actually telling kids stay home today because of this water issue.
That's right, Lauren. Noblesville schools are closed today and students will have an e-learning day. Now, Hamilton Southeastern schools are also in the impacted area. However, classes will go on as scheduled there. Precautions will be in place at all Hamilton Southeastern schools. Drinking fountains will be shut off and bottled water will be available. Food services at the schools will follow safety protocols when preparing meals for students. Now, the boil water advisory is a result of an equipment malfunction at a water treatment facility. The boil order is in effect for all Indiana American Water customers in Noblesville and parts of Fishers. Company representatives are advising customers boil all drinking or cooking water for at least 3 minutes. Using the water for washing or bathing is okay. Repairs were made to the system and water samples will be collected to check for any contamination in the water distribution system. Now, the advisory is also impacting the Humane Society for Hamilton County. They are asking for donations of 1-gallon jugs of water for their animals. Donations can be dropped off at the Humane Society's Noblesville location. Now, according to the American Water Emergency Alert System, the boil water advisory is in effect until further notice. Back to you guys.
Alyssa, thank you. A meeting to discuss the future of a local fire department turned heated as residents questioned the process to make major changes to the Owen Valley Fire Department.
Nobody is going to ask the president if this is going to be nighttime, daytime, how are you going to do it? No discussion.
So 8 in the evening, 9 in the evening, I'm just curious about that.
We're done. If you want to ask questions, you can for that microphone. We're not going to sit here and argue.
At the meeting, the Owen County Fire Territory Board voted to approve 3 new paid firefighter positions. The decision comes after the department, made up of mostly volunteers, could not reach a contract agreement with the board. Only RTV6 has been following this story from the very beginning. Lieutenant Joe Fry told RTV6 the group never had a chance to negotiate the terms of the contract. The board's attorney says the board is going in a different direction.
He decided that considering all the problems, not just with them, but with recruiting firefighters and such things, that we were going to go ahead and start hiring our own firefighters as opposed to contracting with the Owen Valley Fire Department as a separate entity.
We're wiping our hands clean of it. I can kind of close this book. I'm done volunteering in my community for this fire department, as long as these other guys are too. So it's a shame, but at least we were able to be heard tonight.
The new positions are for 1 full-time firefighter and 2 part-time firefighters.
3 Bartholomew County Sheriff's deputies have been suspended and demoted for failing to serve an emergency detention order.
The man who should have been detained under that order was shot to death that same evening after confronting a homeowner with a baseball bat. The sheriff suspended Lieutenant Gary Niff, Sergeant Jason Lancaster, and Sergeant Jason Williams 15 days each without pay. According to investigators, the deputies made contact contact with Derek Henderson on January 3rd, but they did not detain him after he refused to leave his home.
The time now is 6:09, and that truck driver charged in an interstate crash, killing a mother and her twins, has entered a new plea. Bruce Pollard pleaded guilty but mentally ill to several criminal charges, according to the Marion County Prosecutor's Office. 29-year-old Alana Coons and her 18-month-old daughters died after Pollard's semi slammed into stopped traffic on I-465 near the Keystone exit back in July.
This morning, we're still working to get answers for residents at this apartment complex in Castleton. They've reached out to RTV6 for help over the weekend after the parking lot flooded, damaging cars and blocking access to apartments. Diana Smith says she cannot drive her car now after flooding almost washed it away. We went back to the complex on Monday and still found that high water was an issue. Diana and other residents say they're not getting answers or help from management.
It's been extremely frustrating. I think it would kind of alleviate some of the frustration if we weren't in the dark about everything. But when you call the office, no one knows anything, no one can give you any direction, no one knows what next steps are going to be taken.
A manager at the leasing office directed our crew to a corporate official who declined to comment. RTV6 will continue working until we get a resolution for those people impacted.
Well, getting a job can be difficult for Hoosiers with disabilities. New at 6:14, we'll show you a local group working to help those people gain meaningful employment. Hey, Todd.
And the morning commute, Lauren, should be a good one here across central Indiana, at least weather-wise. It's a little on the cool side. You'll have to turn the heater on in your car, but you won't have to probably do a full blast as temperatures are in the 30s, and that's well above normal for this time of year, for this time of morning. Just some clouds out there. We'll talk about temperatures in the 50s this afternoon, and also our next chance of rain coming up in your Storm Team 6 forecast. The time now is 6:11. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on RTV6.
Dream Mattress Studio at Value City Furniture.
The time now is 6:14. Here's a look at what's expected to make headlines a little later today. The 6 Democratic presidential hopefuls will take the stage in Des Moines, Iowa tonight for the 7th presidential debate, as the Democrats tackle topics likely to include Iran. President Trump will rally supporters in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The U.S. Supreme Court will tackle some Bridgegate issues today. 2 former aides to then New Jersey Governor Chris Christie are asking justices to throw out their fraud convictions and put new limits on public corruption prosecutions. Bridget Kelly and Bill Baroni were found guilty in 2016 of using taxpayer money to close lanes on the George Washington Bridge as political retribution. And celebrations continue today in Louisiana for the home state college football champion Tigers. LSU topped Clemson last night 42-25, taking home its 3rd title in 17 years. Heisman Trophy winner Joe Burrow ended the season with the NCAA single-season record for touchdown passes. Congratulations to him.
Hiring Hoosiers is our initiative to connect you to employment opportunities.
Yeah, and this morning a local organization is working to find jobs for Hoosiers living with disabilities. Our Kelsey Anderson is joining us live this morning. And Kelsey, tell us, how many people with a disability say that they're looking for a job right now?
Well, Lauren, that's the alarming thing that I heard while working on this story, is that 80% of people living with disabilities are unemployed or underemployed, and that's what Ability Indiana is working to fix. So Ability Indiana is an organization that works to employ individuals with disabilities. They are currently partnered with 29 different businesses in Indiana, like Postmaster's Mailing Service in Indianapolis. Katie Stafford Cunningham is the COO of Ability Indiana, and she says the program has made a big impact in the lives of a lot of people.
It's made a huge impact. I mean, people can go out, they make friends at work, they create great relationships, they're able to be out and about with their friends, and they can make money and spend it just like everybody else does. So it's really made an impact on people's quality of life. If that's what they choose to do, then that's what they should be able to do.
Stafford Cunningham tells me on average in 2019, they employed 220 Hoosiers every month. Coming up in the next half hour, you're going to hear from a young man who's gained his independence because of this program. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you so much. The time now 6:16, and new this morning, Indiana State University in Terre Haute receiving a big national honor. The school was just selected as one of the most promising places to work in student affairs. That's according to the American College Personnel Association. ISU is the only university in Indiana picked for the honor, and it's just one of 27 in the entire country. Go Sycamores. Congratulations.
That's awesome. Yeah. All right, here at 6:17, another warmer than usual day for our January, Todd.
Yeah, climbing into the 50s. Anytime you can do that in January, you're in pretty good shape, and that's what we'll do not only today, but probably tomorrow as well, as the temperatures we just mentioned will be above normal. There's a brief cool down heading into the day on a Thursday, and then more rain arrives for the weekend. In fact, it could start even as a little bit of a wintry mix. So soak in today with the temperatures eventually in the 50s, 40s right now in Bloomington, 37 in Martinsville. Skies a little clearer to the north, so temperatures a little bit colder up in Tipton, as well as Peru sitting right around the freezing mark. As we work our way throughout the morning hours, we should warm quite quickly, all the way into the mid-40s already by the noon hour. Then high temperatures this afternoon will top off in the 50s. As far as the sky cover goes, we'll kind of toggle back and forth between partly to mostly cloudy skies. And you can see right now skies are partly cloudy across the area, so the sun comes up a little after 8 o'clock this morning, and you may want to have the sunglasses handy. And then we may deal with some periods of clouds. What we'll not deal with, though, is any rainfall. That stays to our south. The snow that you see to our north stays in Michigan, so we will be completely dry today with those above normal temperatures. I want to fast forward, though, to tomorrow morning now. I know it's a little bit of a jump forward, but this evening you have no concerns either with partly cloudy skies. But 9 a.m. tomorrow, so towards the tail end of the morning commute, we'll start to bring in some rain showers, and you'll see them move through during the afternoon hours on your Wednesday. They're all very, very light, and they're very, very spotty, so this will not be enough to aggravate any flooding across the area, and there are still some river flood warnings out there, but those rivers should start to recede just a little bit throughout the day today. And then Thursday will be quiet but much colder across the area. So throughout the day tomorrow, we'll deal with those showers, but temperatures still into the mid-50s. Your high on Wednesday is right around 56 degrees. Now we go back over to TrueCast, and now I've jumped all the way for you to Friday morning. Friday morning will be dry across the area. As we work our way into Friday evening, though, we'll start to deal with a rain-snow mixture moving through. So Friday evening's commute, there could be a few slick spots. It's all going to depend on the timing, and we're still several days away, so we'll fine-tune that as we get closer. At this point, just know that there could be a little bit of a wintry mix Friday evening, but then as the warmer air comes in, it goes over to all rain late Friday throughout the day on Saturday, and then it ends again as a few snowflakes, but that won't be too much of a concern for us. Any slick conditions would be Friday evening. As far as flooding goes, we could see over an inch of rain Friday into Saturday, and that could cause some issues here across the area. And then behind that storm system, much colder as winter does return as we head into Sunday and Monday with highs right around freezing. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thank you so much. As you're heading out on the roads this Tuesday, let's plan out your drive. Here is a look right now at traffic on the northeast side. I-465 and I-69. You can see traffic there is picking up this morning, but still traveling smoothly. No issues to slow you down. I want to take you back to our traffic now map, though, and take you down here to the south side where we had that road maintenance ongoing this morning in the westbound lanes. It was near State Road 37, and that was slowing down traffic all the way back to the East Street exit. It looks like that is starting to wrap up at this hour, so this is a spot we will continue to monitor. Just give yourself a few extra minutes, and I think we get past this area okay this morning.
So moments ago, you saw Todd's forecast. He's predicting lows in the 20s and even in the teens as part of his 7-day. But as the temperatures go down, heating bills, they go up. If you need help paying those bills, the United Way Winter Assistance Fund is now open. The fund helps cover utility costs for people who don't qualify for the state's low-income energy assistance program. For more information about this program in particular, and please share the information with family and friends who may need to have this information, go to theindychannel.com or the RTV6 app.
The 2018 Farm Bill gave the green light for hemp to be a federally legal crop. Now the U.S. Department of Agriculture is looking to implement growing rules that could affect farmers, processors, retailers, and state governments. The USDA even estimates 20% of hemp lots could fail under the proposed regulations. A public comment period on the rules runs until January 29th.
At 6:21, if you have a Toyota parked in your driveway, you're going to want to listen up to this next story. The automaker is recalling nearly 700,000 vehicles nationwide. They say that the fuel pumps in certain cars can fail, and that can cause the engines to stall. It includes several 2018 and 2019 Lexus models, along with 10 other models like the 4Runner and the Camry. Toyota is working on repairs and says that owners will be sent a letter by mid-March if their vehicle is recalled.
The Butler Bulldogs, they continue to win some big games. Ahead at 6:26, we're looking at the historic jump the Dogs just made in the latest polls. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on RTV6.
Made to Monday only at Ashley Home Store.
Okay, guys, it is time to look at what is trending at 6. I don't know how I feel about this story. Okay, so you can't call them Cheeto fingers without that orange dust that gets stuck on your hands, and now that cheesy goodness has its own name.
Okay.
Frito-Lay say the official name of the dust is called Cheetle. It even has a definition in the dictionary and its own hashtag. You can also now get Cheetle on ready-to-eat popcorn.
I feel like we could have thought of something better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Big Cheeto gal right here.
I just call it Yum Yum.
I like that.
So, Cardi B for senator? Let that sink in. Senator Cardi B. The Grammy Award-winning rapper tweeted over the weekend that she's interested in being a politician. Now, this is not the first time the rapper has shown an interest in politics. Over the summer, she partnered with the Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders. And in 2018, Cardi B told GQ magazine she loves political science and government.
The Butler men's basketball team continues its climb in the national college rankings, reaching another new high. The Bulldogs now ranked 5th in the new AP Top 25 poll. Butler is coming off a big win over Providence on the road Friday. The Bulldogs host Seton Hall Wednesday at Hinkle Fieldhouse. A big congrats to them.
Very cool.
I'd much rather see the Boilermakers in a nice spot like that. But you know what? The Bulldogs, as Raphael, you always say, they're good people.
They're good people.
So I'm happy to see
if you're going to drop names, if you're going to say Butler, I'm going to say Franklin. So I'm just going to say, just because, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. Their only loss was on the road to Baylor. That was by 1 point.
Wow.
And Baylor is now #2 in the country.
Okay.
So Butler,
there you go.
Great season so far.
Might see them shining during March Madness here in a few months.
Ooh, that'd be good.
All right, outside right now, we're dealing with quiet conditions here across the area. And that is good news for your morning commute. You'll need to grab the jacket, though, with temperatures that are in the 30s. The good news, though, is today, unlike yesterday, we warm up quite quickly throughout the morning hours as temperatures will be climbing back up into the mid-40s already by the noon hour. And then for most of us from Indianapolis southward, we'll see temperatures climb up into the 50s across the area. Those of you in northern locations, unfortunately, still a little bit cooler for you today with highs that'll only be in the mid-40s, but we'll have some sunshine. And all these temperatures, no matter where you are across central Indiana today, are once again above normal.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Okay, so filing your taxes can be difficult, time-consuming.
Not ready for this.
And it can be frustrating.
Yeah, so working for you, our John Matteries explains why free filing should be easier this year so you don't waste your money.
We've just gone from the most wonderful time of the year to the most dreaded time of the year, tax season. But good news, filing for free is now easier than ever. The 2020 tax season starts January 27th, which is when the IRS starts accepting returns. New for this year, the IRS has streamlined its free file system, eliminating some of the traps that cost people money when they thought they were filing for free. If you earn less than $69,000 in 2019, you should be able to file free. Trouble is, many companies hid their free filing pages, and when people Googled them, they ended up having to pay. Well, a new agreement with preparers means that if you Google TurboTax Free File, the Free File site should come up right away. It's still not a perfect system, and some companies have a lower income threshold, at which point they start charging you. So you need to check with a few providers, but free filing should be easier this year so you don't fall for a paid trap and you don't waste your money. I'm John Matteries. Good morning, Indiana.
For more cost-saving tips and ideas, visit the money section of our website, theindychannel.com.
If you've booked a plane ticket recently, you probably noticed nearly all of the airlines now offer what's called an economy fare. They're often the least expensive options because you get hardly anything included in the ticket price. Airlines will charge extra if you want to select your seat or bring a carry-on bag on board. USA Today is reporting on just how much those fees add up for the airlines. In 2018, they collected $4.9 billion in baggage fees. The author reports some airlines wouldn't be profitable at all without the fees. Pretty incredible.
Now here on Good Morning Indiana, it's Tuesday morning, and here's a look at your 6:30 news feed. The next court hearing scheduled for March for that semi-truck driver charged with a crash on I-65 that left 3 people dead. Matthew Lewis Small is charged with reckless homicide for the Boone County crash. As of now, he's scheduled to go on trial in April.
The vital suspect in the killing of Dr. Kevin Rogers has agreed to plead guilty to murder and burglary. 18-year-old Devon Seats admitted to killing Rogers at his Northwest Side home in Indianapolis in November of 2017. He faces up to 50 years in prison and will be sentenced next week. 3 other suspects in the case pleaded guilty to burglary charges.
Police are investigating after 2 people were found dead inside a car at a Greentown convenience store. Police say the man and woman had both been shot. They were found last night in the parking lot of the Greentown Casey's General Store. Police say they do not believe there is an ongoing threat to the public, and they are still working to learn more.
Owners of an East Side grocery store frustrated after finding their business ransacked. A&I Variety Meats and Produce opened last year to serve an area known as a food desert where residents have a hard time finding fresh food. But someone broke into the store over the weekend, and now the store at 38th Street and Post Road is closed with thousands of dollars worth of food stolen.
Have you noticed this? Construction underway on a new grocery store in Fishers in Hamilton County. A sign says, "Coming soon, Aldi," at the old Fresh Market at 116th and Cumberland Road. We're working to learn exactly when that store will open. Last month, Aldi also opened a new location in Castleton at a former Marsh store.
Tuesday, January 14th. Thanks so much for joining us here at 6:30.
And we do want to get a check of our forecast. It is a pretty quiet day out there. No complaints. We're in January, Todd. We've had a pretty good track record so far.
Yeah, you know, January's been above normal. It's been a little wet for us, but it hasn't been very white. We haven't had a whole lot of snow this month. And that is going to continue here throughout the next few days. It's not until Friday we'll introduce the chance of maybe a little bit of a wintry mix returning to the forecast. But today we are talking above normal temperatures. So you need to grab before you go as you walk out the door. We're talking sunglasses and at least a medium weight jacket for this morning. By the time we get to this afternoon, temperatures will be up into the 50s, so that'll be the good news in this forecast. The umbrella, you can kind of tuck that away for at least one more day. Tomorrow, we do have some rain showers coming back to the forecast, but skies are partly cloudy here this morning. We'll expand out for you. Big storm system to our south. That will not impact us. That'll move up the east coast, so we're just talking about temperatures this morning that will warm pretty quickly. We'll go from about 36 degrees here at 9 a.m. to already 45 degrees by the time we get to the noon hour with increasing clouds. I mentioned the 50s. Should get up to 52 later on this afternoon. More on that and the rain chances ahead in this forecast coming up in just a little bit.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We're keeping a close eye on traffic this morning, and a big trouble spot we had all morning long was I-465 near State Road 37 and Harding Street on the south side. Road maintenance was closing a few left lanes in that area, but it's looking like everything is open, moving along back up to speed, and that is great news for your south side commute. Of course, we'll continue to keep an eye on everything happening around the metro area. But here at 6:32, we're going to our other news of the day, like a boil water advisory. It's having a big impact this morning.
This is a serious situation. One school district closing to students for the day as a safety precaution. Our Alyssa Donovan is at our live desk this morning. Alyssa, this is impacting multiple communities. Fill us in right now.
That's right, Raphael. Both Noblesville schools and Hamilton Southeastern schools are in the area under the advisory. Noblesville schools will be closed today, and students will have an e-learning day. Classes will go on as scheduled at Hamilton Southeastern schools. However, district staff are taking precautions. Drinking fountains will be turned off, and bottled water will be available for all students. The boil water advisory is for Indiana American Water customers in Noblesville and parts of Fishers. The company sent out an alert to customers yesterday stating that the boil order is a precaution as a result of an equipment malfunction at one of their water treatment facilities. The malfunction caused the loss of water pressure, which can cause contamination. Repairs have been done, and the water will be tested before the boil order is lifted. People who live in the area are advised to boil any cooking or drinking water for at least 3 minutes. Using the water for washing or bathing is okay. According to the American Water's emergency alert system, the advisory is in effect until further notice. In the meantime, the boil order is also impacting the Humane Society for Hamilton County. They need donations for 1-gallon jugs of water for their animals. Donations can be dropped off at the Humane Society's Noblesville location. Back to you guys.
Alyssa, thank you. The president of Franklin College has been fired after facing charges for child sex crimes in Wisconsin. The college made the announcement after President Thomas Minor was arrested in Sturgeon Bay last week. Prosecutors expect to file charges of attempted child enticement and exposing a child to harmful materials. A Franklin College spokeswoman says the school fired Minor after becoming aware of the, quote, deeply disturbing incident. Minor had already announced that he was resigning at the end of this academic year.
The time now is 6:34, and only on RTV6, a town worried about a hazard on Main Street is finding relief with a temporary solution. State Road 38 is Main Street in Markleville. The town depends on INDOT snowplows to clear the state road when it snows. It also acknowledges that the drivers of those plows can't see snow-covered curbs when they drive through town on State Road 38. The problem, the curbs are pinned to the pavement, and when hit by those snowplows, the curbs are either damaged or, as you can see, they accidentally end up in people's yards. This has been a problem now for about 20 years. So I reached out to INDOT. The agency says that in the short term, they will be ordering new replacements and repinning those curbs that were removed.
As we go through and do projects in areas that have pin curbs, it's something that we need to update and make it, the regular standard now, which is not pin curbs. So we're going to permanent curbs in all places.
The other board members, myself, have talked to a lot of people at the state. We were getting put off to this person. Well, this person doesn't work for the state anymore. In the last couple of years, we've been bounced around. So we come up with the idea, hey, give you a call. You do a lot of good work for people, and see if you can help us. Wonderful.
Cool.
Wonderful. We appreciate it, man.
All right. Thank you.
Great job.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So the long-term goal in this situation involves a plan to remove and replace those pin curbs along State Road 38 in Markleville by the year 2025. We'll see what happens. We'll keep on top of the story.
It's 6:36. For people with disabilities, finding a steady and decent paying job can be difficult. Next on Good Morning Indiana, our own Kelsey Anderson gives us a look at an organization that's trying to change that.
And giving more people a chance to contribute to society and perhaps become U.S. citizens. Coming up, how some state lawmakers are trying to make it happen. It's 6:36. We'll be right back.
Full of frosted mini wheats, and you're good till lunch.
Hiring Hoosiers, our initiative here at RTV6 to connect you to jobs, resources, and training. And since 1976, the organization Ability Indiana has been working to help Hoosiers living with disabilities find a job.
The company helps to connect them to new opportunities, independence, and friendships. Our Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning with the details on how adults with disabilities are finding a new sense of freedom. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Meredith and Raphael. So kind of an alarming statistic this morning, but the national average of unemployment for people living with disability is 80%. And Ability Indiana is working to curb that statistic and find employment for those living with disabilities. Max Gillian spends most days here at Postmasters, sorting mail and taking it on his route.
I do a mail route at the Government Center for Department of Revenue. I work in the basement mail room, and I scan packages into a system, and then I take a palm with me on my route.
Gillian is just one of millions of Americans living with a disability that to some makes him unemployable.
Traditionally, individuals with disabilities are underemployed or unemployed. The national average unemployment rate for individuals with disabilities is about 80%.
Katie Stafford Cunningham is COO of Ability Indiana. an organization working to put people like Max Gillian to work.
I've had a lot of good people that I've worked with, and I've gotten along with pretty much everybody here.
We're very proud of the people that work here. We're proud of the Ability Indiana program, and we really like to open up our doors and show anybody that's willing to come in and take a look and see what great employees that the people with disabilities can be.
Joe McKinney is the Director of Operations at Postmasters, one of the many companies that partners with Ability Indiana.
They're all hardworking. They're very dedicated. They're so happy to have the dignity of work and the opportunity to work just like you and I do.
Having worked at Postmasters for 3 years, now Gillian is ready to find more freedom.
And someday I'd like to maybe get out on my own, maybe get a one-bedroom apartment or whatnot, or whatever I can get to.
Leaders with Ability Indiana tell me that on average, they employed 220 people every month in 2019. For more information on how you can get involved with Ability Indiana and the businesses that they're partnered with, you can visit this story on hiringhoosiers.com. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you. It is 6:41 at the State House. Lawmakers are considering a proposal that would allow undocumented immigrants to legally drive. That's currently against the law here in Indiana because proof of legal status is needed to have a license. The author of the bill says that the proposal would not allow undocumented person to vote or provide a pathway to citizenship, but Representative Chris Campbell and other advocates say the change would benefit the entire state.
This has been proven to be good for the economy. It makes our roads safer. All of these things have been well documented, and it lowers the rate of uninsured motorists.
We deserve basic human rights, like driving in the street without the fear of being deported. And so we thank everyone that's here today, and we just urge the state to really live to its potential.
The bill says undocumented immigrants would have to take a tax ID, have a tax ID and pass both driving tests to be eligible for their driver's card. There's no indication the bill would get a hearing during this year's session.
So let's stay at the state capitol, because coming up tonight, Governor Eric Holcomb will outline his agenda for 2020. The State of the State address starts at 7 p.m. The governor expected to address concerns over teacher pay. We will have live coverage this evening on the news at 7, the RTV6 app, the RTV6 Facebook page, and of course, our website, theindychannel.com.
Trying to protect teachers or trying to stifle free speech. Next, a policy some parents say is being pushed because of uncomfortable questions they're asking at school board meetings. Todd.
And the good news is today's a dry day for us once again with above normal temperatures, but rain chances will ramp up in the coming days. Tomorrow about a 40% chance, but then they really increase on Friday when we may mix a few snowflakes in as well. We'll talk all about your forecast as we look ahead to the weekend coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues. The time now is 6:43. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
RTV6 is working for you.
Welcome back. Time right now is 6:45, and here's a live look at traffic over to our west, I-465 and West 21st Street. We do have a few crashes not on the interstates right now. We do have one at 10th Street near Girls School Road in this area reported. And then farther out, we have a crash at Moore Street and Bridgeport Road to our west. Injuries reported. And that scene will continue to monitor all the issues for your morning commute. We'll keep you updated.
This morning, a teacher's aide at Ben Davis University High School is out of a job, and police are conducting an investigation. A spokesperson for Wayne Township Schools says it happened after allegations that the aide had been involved in an exchange of drugs with a student. The school district says it notified police and the State Department of Child Services of the allegations as well. Ben Davis University High School is not to be confused with the much larger Ben Davis High School.
At 6:46, we continue to cover education today. The Northwest Hendricks School Board is expected to discuss a social media policy that the ACLU calls a violation of the First Amendment. The policy says that parents should not use social media to make rude or offensive comments or fuel outrage towards school staff or schools. It's been now in effect since 2016. One parent tells Call 6 Investigates the district handed out copies of that code of conduct at a December board meeting. Officials say it was in response to what they called inappropriate and disruptive behavior at the previous meeting. Now, this comes after months of criticism from parents and the community over the handling of a sexual misconduct claim against a Tri-West high school teacher. Parents who violate the code of conduct can be removed from school property and banned from school grounds.
It's 6:47. Indiana University is now facing a class action lawsuit over mold in dorms. About 3,000 students have joined this lawsuit. It claims that IU knew about the mold conditions in the dorms for several years and misled students about the severity. The lawsuit also says many students got sick and that the university encouraged doctors at the campus health center not to tell students that their symptoms could be caused by that mold.
In some cases, unfortunately, some of the students became seriously ill and really suffered the loss of their first year of college.
That mold forced students to move out of their dorms in the fall of 2018. Two of the impacted buildings, McNutt and Foster, are under renovation right now because of that problem. They're expected to reopen sometime next year. Mold was also detected in nearly 24 rooms at Teeter Quad.
Here at 6:48, Todd Clausen is standing by. I don't know about you guys, but I am not going to complain about this morning's cold weather because of the temps that are to come later today.
I'm going to complain about the rain on Friday, maybe. Not about today.
Friday into Saturday is our trouble day. One, because we may start off with a little bit of a wintry mix, and then two, could see quite a bit of rainfall, which is not good for the flooding situation across the area. But as Meredith was alluding to, today's a decent day. We're starting off in the 30s and 40s. This is where we should be for our afternoon highs this time of year. This is how far above normal we'll be later on this afternoon, as temperatures will eventually be climbing all the way up into the 50s all across the area. So as we work our way throughout the day today, we're going to see our temperatures really start to warm across the area. In fact, by this afternoon, we're looking at temperatures that are going to be in the 50s. We'll kind of toggle back and forth between partly cloudy skies and mostly cloudy skies. So it's not completely sunny throughout the day today, but the trade-off is light winds and temperatures again into the low 50s later on this afternoon. So as we work our way throughout the day today, we are really going to be enjoying bonus weather for this time of year. The satellite radar picture shows a bigger storm system down to our south. That is going to miss us. There's a little bit of snow to our north. You don't have to worry about that either, as we will be kind of sandwiched between those two systems with the quiet weather for the day today. Now tomorrow we do bring rain back into the forecast. It's still mild though. In fact, tomorrow is probably even a couple degrees warmer into the low to mid 50s for us, with some rain showers developing. I do think that the morning commute should be fine tomorrow. Towards the tail end of it, some of these showers will move in, but any showers we do see across the area are going to be very light and they're going to be very spotty. They are not going to be heavy enough to cause any additional flooding across central Indiana. So that's at least good news. It's just kind of more of a nuisance event tomorrow, as these showers will make their way through, and you'll probably want to have the umbrella handy, or maybe just a rain jacket that has a hood on that you can pop up. But the bigger storm system is going to be on a Friday into Saturday. It starts as a wintry mix, and then it goes over to all rain during the overnight hours, which is kind of unusual, right? Usually we think we cool off during the overnight hours and you expect the change over to be snow. It's the opposite way around, because the storm system is going to be bringing in warmer temperatures, and then flooding will be a concern, as we could see anywhere from 1 to maybe 2 inches of rain across the area, maybe a little bit less as you work your way to the north. But that's another pretty good soaking on top of what will be saturated ground that's still present across the area. So that's why we could run into those flooding situations. Then behind that storm system, the cold air is set to return to our forecast, as high temperatures by time we get to Sunday and Monday may struggle to get to the freezing mark, with low temperatures Monday morning back down into the teens. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Here is a look right now at traffic over on the west side. This is I-465 in Washington Street, where traffic is moving along smoothly here, picking up as you can see. Right now on the west side, monitoring 2 crashes for you. 10th Street at Girls School Road, 1 reported there. We also have a crash with injury at Moore Street and Bridgeport Road. We'll continue to keep you updated.
Celebrating a life in music. We'll show you how the Indianapolis Symphony Orchestra said farewell to the man who created many musical memories right here in our city. The time now 6:51. You're watching Good Morning Indiana. Visit the Hiring Hoosiers job board.
On the plate, another level. Still down, brass devils. Yes, we still rebels. No, we never settle for just enough. We making moves, y'all, and the only way is up next.
Some of the wounded Pacers back last night. Malcolm Brogdon and Domantas Sabonis returned from injury and both helped lead a balanced Pacers attack that gave them a big win at home over the Sixers. Indiana moves past Philly into 5th place in the Eastern Conference. Next up for the Pacers are back-to-back games against the Timberwolves. They'll be in Minnesota tomorrow night, then back at the Fieldhouse for a rematch on Friday.
The Go Pacers. It was a fitting tribute to a man whose legacy right here in our city is music to your ears.
Last night, the Indianapolis Symphony Orchestra celebrated the life and legacy of Maestro Raymond Lepard. The memorial at Hilbert Circle Theater was, of course, a musical tribute. Lepard died in October at the age of 92. He served as conductor and music director of the ISO from 1987 to 2001. He's credited with raising the artistic profile of the orchestra through international tours, recordings, and broadcasts. Andy Duthie McCafferty performed at the ISO during Lepard's tenure.
Someone who lives as long and as full a life as Raymond did, you have to celebrate. I'm sad because I've lost a friend. I've lost a colleague, a very special gentleman. But I think today has to be one of happy remembrance and celebration.
Lepard also created a holiday tradition, the popular Yuletide celebration concerts. The ISO says the native of the UK loved Indianapolis so much he made the city his permanent home and became a U.S. citizen in 2003.
Yuletide is fantastic. So what a legacy for families to remember this musician, this artist. Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't
Very
know that.
talented.
The
So
things
cool.
you learn on RTV6 in Indiana.
And we want to learn one more time about this great weather we are going to have later today.
Yeah, you know, we'll toggle between partly to mostly cloudy skies, but temperatures will be in the 50s. That's the good news later on this afternoon. We should get up to about 52. Keep in mind our normal high is only 35, so we're in bonus territory here once again. Tomorrow, some rain showers return to the forecast. Nothing heavy, a little bit colder, but sunny on Thursday, and then a wintry mix Friday afternoon going over to all rain as we head into Saturday morning.
All right, Todd, thanks so much, and thanks for joining us. We're back in 25 minutes and all throughout Good Morning America.
All your news throughout the day can be found on the RTV6 app.
Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow morning.